Hi, DJI have updated their Avata to Avata 2. I want to take you through an unboxing, first flight, and some thoughts on how I can use this for climbing videos and vlogs. Let's do this. Hi, I've had a DJI drone since the launch of the Mini. In fact, this is my current drone, the DJI Mavic Mini 4. An excellent little drone, but it's a cinematic drone, so excellent for epic vistas, good, steady, slow shots. But for a long time, I've had an interest in trying FPV drones. So in case you don't know the difference, FPV drones focus on thrilling action shots, speed and adrenaline fueled shots, also freestyle tricks, flips, etc. Not that those would necessarily be useful in a climbing video. So what I've wanted for a while is to be able to achieve some of those thrilling action-packed shots that an FPV drone can bring. Enter the DJI Avata 2. Let's unbox this thing. Let me put this down and I'll take things out. So we have the drone itself. Let's leave that for the time being. This is the FPV Remote Controller 3. This is for manual flying. I'll talk more about that later. Nice little launch pad. Flip that over there. This is an SD card storage case and ND filters. ND filters are like sunglasses for your drone. They allow you to change the footage from looking stuttery, a bit like video, and far more filmic. Looking forward to using those. A nice 256 gigabyte storage card. Okay, so let's see what's in the box. Now, this is interesting. First thing we see is a bag. So does that mean everything that I need to fly this thing is in a bag? Certainly looks that way. And it's a neat little bag too. Let's open it up. Let's pick the small packages first. Move this out of the way. This is the new, can't remember what it's called, I'll put it up here, remote. This allows you to fly the drone just using this stick. This will be the way that I primarily start flying it, and I'm hoping it will get me some epic shots just with using this. Because I got the Fly More combo, it comes with a couple of extra batteries, and there will be a third battery which is in the drone. Each of these batteries, the stated flight time is 23 minutes. I'm sure it'll be less than that in practice, but this is quite a neat little thing. This is one of the main differences with an FPV drone, in that you're not flying it using a screen, you're flying it using FPV goggles. And these are the new FPV Goggles 3. They have some cameras in the front to let pass through, and looks like the battery is integrated. The older one you had a trailing battery, and with a tightness adjustment. Let's see how this feels. I'm not sure how it looks. I'm sure it looks stupid. This thing here on the forehead makes a massive difference because it means none of this is pressing against my face. A little light leak at the bottom, but I'm sure I could adjust that. Yeah. Okay. the star of the show, the actual Avata 2 itself. Very neat. Looks like it's not as tall as the previous one. Looks slightly bigger. To compare it to the Mini Pro, it's actually smaller with the propellers out. Little gimbal cover. It comes off like this. So it has a gimbal, but the gimbal on an FPV drone is only one axis. It's a vertical gimbal. So there's no side to side. In an FPV drone, it doesn't. It means if the drone is flying this way, then what you see is at that angle. Now that sounds like it'd be a bad idea, but it's one of the things that makes FPV footage so exciting. It allows for these swooping movements. Some spec, for those of you that are interested, it's 377 grams, so it takes it above the 250 gram limit. It has a maximum speed of 16 meters per second in sport and 27 meters per second in manual. That's 35 miles per hour in sport and 60 miles per hour in manual. What that does mean, it means I can do things like follow a car. So I can see epic shots of the drone following a car into a climbing location, for example. It has GPS. It has internal storage of 56 gigabytes. That seems quite big. That's probably about 45 minutes of 4K footage with no SD card. And obviously I've got an SD card with 256 gigabytes. It has a bigger sensor. It's got a 1/1/3 inch sensor, which I think is the same size as the Mini Pro, and that's a good sensor, with an aperture and a field of view of 155. Wide angle field of view on FPV look epic. And I think you can set it to a narrower field of view if you want. An aperture of f2.8 and an ISO range of 100 to 25,800, which again is quite good. Video resolution, the highest is 4K, up to 60 frames per second. It can do 120 frames per second at full HD. Again, epic slow-mo if needed. It has a max bitrate of 130 megabits per second, which is it's comparable to, I think, the iPhone. And you can shoot in standard or D-Log-M. D-Log-M makes a massive difference. It just gives a lot more control over how you edit and color grade the footage. And it has unstabilized footage, which I wouldn't use. You can shoot unstabilized, which allows you to stabilize it yourself. I don't see any point in that. It has two types of stabilization. Horizon lock seems to me a waste of time if you have an FPV drone to have it on horizon lock, and Rock Steady 3, which smooths out the footage from the camera. There's a live preview of 1080p, so with the footage I'm getting in here is digital and very, very clear compared to some FPV drones, for example. And it has a transmission distance of 13 kilometers. I have no idea why you would need a transmission distance of 13 kilometers. Technically, you're only supposed to fly within sight of your drone, and there's no way I'm flying my drone 13 kilometers away. Crazy. What that will make a difference, because it has that power, it will mean that there's less interference when I fly behind buildings and rocks and trees, for example, when I'm closer. Each battery will give you about 23 minutes of flight time, although it's likely to be slightly less than that, depending on how hard you're being on the drone, and takes about 45 minutes to charge. Access to the SD port, a lot easier than the previous version. So yeah, I'm excited to try it. What I'll do is I'll just cut to me trying first flight, which may be this afternoon, depending on the weather. It may be tomorrow, and I'll give you my assessments of it once I've tried it a few times. Okay, let's go. Very windy. I can see down the bottom right hand corner, 60. So it's definitely can feel it battling against the wind. Going at 18, 19 miles an hour. You can see from the angle, whoa, that's fighting the wind. So this is in normal mode, and that's it flat out. It's not terrible. 6 feet from the ground, flat out. So let's switch it to I think it's this button. So that's us in sport mode. So now it should be faster. The goggles view isn't stabilised, so I'm not sure what it'll look like. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll call that a day, back into manual. I tried flying the drone for the next couple of days, and this shot I wanted to see if I could race a car, and this was my friend arriving at the house. Clearly I was much too fast for the speed he was going on the road, so I had to swing back round and see him again. I really need to think about the field of view. I think this wide angle might be too much. And then the following day I decided to take it to a local small crag, Windy Hill, just outside Glasgow, and have a flyabout. Most of this is just in normal mode. and then I decided to switch it up into sports mode and try flying a little bit faster.